FamilyStory.com's very first video blog post. I'm Caroline Pointer, and I'm kicking it off with the FlipPal Simple Gifts blog hop. From November 4th to November 25th, I and 6 other Genia bloggers will be blogging about some simple, great gift ideas that you can make using your FlipPal mobile scanner. The first one that I'm starting out with is called a story jar. And basically, I got the idea from Pinterest. Someone that I follow on Pinterest pinned this great idea for a heritage craft called a memory jar. Basically, you take this glass memory jar and you fill it up with memories, like pictures from a loved one or an ancestor or heirlooms that they once had, or perhaps some items that remind you of them. And then I've adapted it for the Simple Gifts blog hop, and I'm calling it a story jar. Yeah, basically, it's still a memory, but there's a story behind it. And I might have mentioned before that I am a sucker for a good story. So here it goes.
I currently live in the land of pine trees. Most people around here love the looks of these majestic pine trees, but they hate and complain a lot about the pine cones and the pine needles. They just make a huge mess in the yard. Even my kids take these pine trees, pine cones, and pine needles for granted. So, for today's FlipPal Simple Gift, I dragged my kids out to a nearby park to hunt and collect pine cones and pine needles. And on the way, I shared with them this family story. When my older brother was a student at Texas A&M University in College Station, Texas, my family would travel 7 hours north from the tip of Texas to attend the traditional Texas A&M and the University of Texas Thanksgiving Day football game. And on the way home between College Station and Houston, my mom would always make my dad pull over on the side of the road for two things: a pecan vendor and pine cones. The pecans would end up in our Christmas pies, and the pine cones would end up on the Christmas tree as ornaments after we decorated them. You see, the part of Texas we're from is tropical. Pecan and pine trees don't normally grow there. It was a tradition in our family to stop and pick up these pine cones, and we did it every single year. So the other day, when I was sorting through some family photographs to scan, I found these two pictures of my dad and an unidentified backside of a woman I don't recognize in one of them. They were on the side of the road, and the photos were taken back in the 70s. And I instantly knew what they were doing, picking up pine cones for Mom for us to decorate for the Christmas tree. The date on the back is November of 1975, so that means it was right before my 4th birthday. And the exciting part, I remember it. And don't you just love those 70s clothes? So I thought it'd be neat to capture their story in a jar so that my descendants can know at least one story, one tradition that we had, you know, and not just have some faded photographs of an unidentified man and an unidentified backside wearing some spiffy 70s clothes on the side of the road picking up God knows what in November of 1975. To make the story jar, this is what we're going to use: FlipPal mobile scanner to scan the photos, family photos, computer and printer to print the photos in the story, cardboard, some leftover scrapbook paper or tissue paper, and Mod Podge to adhere the copies of the photos and the story to the cardboard so it will stand up, pine needles and pine cones, acrylic craft paint, glitter, string or twine or yarn, and a hot glue gun, and one glass jar with lid. So let's get started. The FlipPal mobile scanner comes ready to use right out of the box. I inserted the memory card on the side of the scanner, turned on the scanner with the power switch on the side, waited a couple of seconds for it to warm up, and scanned my first photo. As it scans the photo, a digital image comes up on the screen. After it completed the scan, I removed the photo and scanned the second one. Once it was done, I switched off the scanner and removed the memory card. Because my laptop does not have a place to insert a memory card, I used the USB adapter that was included with the FlipPal mobile scanner in the box. I simply inserted the memory card in the USB adapter and then inserted the USB adapter into the laptop, uploaded the photos, and used the software that is included with the FlipPal scanner to recolor the 70s photos. It was very easy to use, very intuitive. after recoloring. And here is the pine cone that I decorated with paint and glitter. And then at the top I added a ribbon with a glue gun. I next added everything into the jar. I first added the pine needles and then the pine cone that's been decorated. And then I also added the cardboard that I decorated with some tissue paper and some Mod Podge and put the story on one side with the photos on the other. And then I put the lid back on the top and decorated the outside of the jar. And there you go, you have your story jar. And it makes a perfect heritage gift that can be passed down from generation to generation. And then that way the story will never be forgotten.